The US stock indexes are trading mainly higher today. The US dollar perked up as markets saw the US is likely to rebound sooner than Europe from the coronavirus pandemic. At the same time, the greenback is losing ground against its Canadian counterpart. Futures on the benchmark US stock indexes are growing in light of the latest report on corporate earnings. Besides, investors are anticipating that the US authorities will approve a large-scale stimulus package in the near future. Futures on the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 are trading firmly higher, unlike the Dow Jones, which logged a 0.02% downtick. The Nasdaq index climbed 0.7%, the S&P 500 is 0.33% up. Wall Street investors got to know financial reports from US high-tech giants. The stock of Alphabet, Google's parent company, surged 7% in the New York pre-market today. The spike came after the news on the company's record-high quarterly revenue. At the same time, Amazon's stock is trading virtually flat. The e-commerce giant reported that its revenue increased 1.4 times in the previous quarter. As a result, the quarterly earnings topped $100 billion for the first time ever. Financial results of top American companies are beyond market expectations. Interestingly, analysts predicted a notable increase in revenues of high-tech companies and those firms whose activity is benefiting from the stay-home directive. In fact, the actual data surpassed expectations. Meanwhile, the new White House administration is forging ahead with a relief package worth $1.9 trillion in Congress. The question is when the lawmakers will pass the bill. It matters a lot when the massive stimulus package will be actually available for the domestic economy, which urgently needs fiscal stimulus. Tonight, the Institute for Supply Management is due to release the US non-manufacturing PMI. Analysts project the index to decline to 56.8 points in January from 57.2 in December. Another important publication is the employment change in the US private companies for January. The number of jobs in the US non-farm sector is expected to grow by 49,000 following a decrease of 123,000 last month. Today, the US dollar is approaching the highest mark in 2 months against a basket of 6 major currencies. The advance of the US dollar comes from evidence that the US economic recovery is going on at a faster pace than in Europe. Investors cheer the endeavor of the US administration to provide the domestic economy with financial aid as soon as possible. At the moment of preparing material for this video, the US dollar index gained 0.15% to trade at 91.23. Oddly enough, the greenback is extending its advance despite a rally of global stocks and improving risk sentiment. Such dynamics defy the traditional inverse relation between the trajectories of the US dollar and stocks. Nevertheless, analysts reckon that such a traditional correlation will come into play later this year. In other words, the US currency is set to weaken as long as global economic recovery gets back on track. The US dollar is favoring between gains and losses against its Canadian counterpart. All in all, the USD CAD pair dipped 0.02%, consolidating at around 1.2792. A decline of the Canadian currency seems to be out of the question in the near time because of optimistic remarks from the Bank of Canada and the bullish trend of oil prices. That's all for today. We keep monitoring the financial market situation. Subscribe to our channel and see you tomorrow.